Alrighty. I'll just get another that's training. Sorry, I thought my phone was going off. I'll put my endurance up. Alright, so apparently we're gonna have a conversation with our brain. What the fuck was that? Oh.
Electrons attached to the neutron. The neutrons attached.
Well, well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again?
My brain is either... Well, first off, my brain sounds British. Second, it sounds like Stewie from Family Guy. Alright. Are you my brain?
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
Why are you such a dick?
Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes us clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment?
I didn't realize it caused you so much distress.
Well, maybe next time you hear me telling you that charging a napkin with a penknife is a bad idea, you'll listen.
How the hell did Mobius get a hold of my brain?
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
And how did he do that?
I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though. Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it.
Uh-huh.
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
Don't you want to be reunited? I thought you'd be happy to get back into my head.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
What about the good things? What about the cool breeze on your cheek, the smell of food? Love.
Overrated biological feedback. Believe me, you only feel that way because you've got all that meat. Oozing hormones.
Isn't it just as true that you only feel this way because you're lacking those hormones?
I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it?
So we're at an impasse. You can't feel what I feel, and I can't think the way you think.
Indeed. Quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it?
I think we have to trust each other and acknowledge that we aren't complete if we're separated.
I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us.
So what do you say, Brain? Join me for some more wild adventures?
Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
Why? They promised to put us back together once they did what they wanted.
And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead. Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. All right, what's the plan?
The think tank won't hold up their end of the bargain. We'll make them. Let's go.
Right. Look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
Your brain added. Alright, well, see you later, Dr. Moby. Actually, where you at?
Sorts of imaginary numbers, right? Oh, I see you and your brain reached a compromise. How pleasant. I hypothesize after the indignant frequencies my receptors had recepted, such a partnership-based conclusion would be low on the likely scale.
My brain told me that the think tank needs to be stopped. Can you help?
If I recall, I had a plan that was working, whatever it was. I don't think it reached fruition. I would recall fruit if it had happened. I wasn't trying to kill them, just keep them out of trouble. What was that plan? Blast. I probably wrote it down on the floor somewhere. Something ingenious and needlessly complicated, I expect. I may have already told you and forgotten it. I forgot I had forgotten pencils until one day I found one. Spent days studying its purpose before my memory circuit kicked in. Felt quite silly.
Anything I can do to stop them that doesn't require violence?
Well, you could try and appeal to their humanity. That's a tired cliche. And really, when they were humans, they weren't very good humans.
I'd like to make the effort.
Well, there's many things they have forgotten, sitting in their bowls. Friendship, the thrill of discovery, love, masturbation, the usual. Much like your brain, I am certain there is something you can spark within each of them. Memories, hormones. A wise man once said, "The eyes do more than see. Make them see, if you can. Or, if not, you can always make them succumb to fear." It certainly worked for me, for a time. Then you came along, and bravery and/or desperation trumped that little idea. Back to the drawing board, I suppose. Or is this the end? Hard to tell.
Scare them? How?
Oh, tell them I'm still alive. We had a nice chat, and we agree on a few things. That's true, isn't it?
Actually, yeah.
Or you could kill me and lie about it. Either way, it would be interesting. And if you are partial to lying and deception, well, you could tell them a ludicrous lie. The more over the top, the better. That's my experience. They're more than a little gullible. Better make it convincing, though, or it'll be the dissection table and vivisectors for you. And if you speak of me, please try and make me look good. I am Dr. Mobius, after all, not some lab assistant teacher's aide.
Can I have a mentat?
Why, of course you can. I am well versed in the science of sharing. Well, when not chemmed out of my sphere.
Alright, you gave me some mentats. Alright, time for me to go.
Indeed.
Yep. Alright, see you later, Dr. Mobius. So, basically, this entire time, Mobius has just been doing all this stuff to keep them occupied, because they just don't know when to stop when it comes to their experiments. So he had to keep them occupied with this idea that he was out to get them, so that they would just focus on trying to defeat him. And they wouldn't, go wandering about, trying to escape. So Mobius was not the devil we thought he was. The think tank, however, kind of sort of is, but, Mobius cares about him. Locked easy. Nope, that one's got stuff in it. Grr. The think tank. Oh, I'm overweight. And apparently I'm low res. Drop that. That and that. All those. My brain weighs nothing. Dr. Klein awaits to make sure you're prepared to finish this once and for all. Kind of a scary color scheme there.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
You may have noticed the pacification field is down. Guess what happens now?
I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite. Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again. And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments.
You think I am the lobotomite? No, for my skull houses the brain of Mobius.
That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. There's no way Mobius would condescend to step inside you. Besides, there's no way such a thing could be accomplished. It's impossible.
Countless brain extraction surgeries exist, but only one implantation one from Mobius. Nothing is impossible for science. Mesons, lasers, atoms, brainwaves, all are at my command.
You speak the truth. And the decibel variation in your voice, it is Mobius. How dare you breach the think tank? And what do you want here?
I offer a deal. Stay here, stay put, and I'll let you live.
That's no deal at all. There's a whole world beyond the crater, filled with ideas and possibilities. We could have escaped, seen it all for ourselves, tested it, prodded at it, made it squirm.
I will permit you to do this. For me.
Partner with you? My foe? My rival? My foremost critic? I have a strange sensation that I would like that. How odd. Very well, partner. The think tank is at your service as long as you do not destroy us.
Alright, well, we resolved that peacefully enough.
As it had been in the years before the Great
Oh, wait, did I
War,
screw that up?
Big Ma-
Okay, I'm wondering if I jack that up. Elevator to the sink.
As it had been
Oh.
in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century.
Alright, let me see if I can do this without Sonny's head being all up in the thing. Optional retrieve your...
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty...
Let's try it one more fucking time. Damn it, Sonny! Stay out of the goddamn way! Actually, hold on. No, don't make her wait here. Screw it, whichever happens, we'll just roll with it.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others. Which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The courier had scoured much of the Big Empty, although secrets still remained in the crater's depths. Perhaps that was for the best, however. Curiosity, while sometimes rewarded for its efforts, often proves to be equally dangerous.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The sink atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat.
The sink continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magnetohydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other sink personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind-eye old Jefferson eventually discovered a new sound. Silence. It only made him more filled with the blues than before. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names once too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic, dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X-8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 continued to scan for the subject and the stealth suit prototype long after the test was over. Frustrated and unable to find its lost technology, X-13 expanded its network of laser tripwires, sensors, and robo-brains out across Big Mountain. This glittering blue light beam forest cleanly bisected anything that entered its depths, slicing them into small segmented parts for easy disposal.
Nice.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
Dr. Klein and the think tank remained alive, unaware of the world outside. They looped through their daily routine, none the wiser about the world beyond, although perhaps wiser was the wrong word. The world outside belonged to the courier, and if anyone would shape it, well, the courier had already called dibs.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, Old World blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was Old World blues, and New World hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
And another growl at the end. You've lost the brainless perk. You've gained the big brain perk. Your brain is back in your body, but some of the advanced technologies remain. Your head still cannot be crippled, but you're only 10% more resistant to addiction now. Surprisingly, your damage threshold improved by 10%. Big Mountain transfer blah blah blah. Ah!
Are precisely where Sir has left them, and should the toaster say otherwise, I remind Sir that it is a wastrel.
I killed the toaster, though.
Please, please, please tell me you stomped Dr. O's brain into a fine paste. Did he squeal? Did he beg? God, I hope he begged. Who's the flatware bitch now? Oh!
Gotta go.
Sure.
There's a heart. Your new heart seems to be working just fine, however. Oh yeah, gotta use the auto dock. God damn.
I trust matters regarding your brain were resolved to your satisfaction.
And
rightly so, I should think. Alright then.
Swap body parts, wow. Oh yeah, swap body parts. Place your heart back in your chest. You have lost the Heartless perk. Cardiac arrest perk. Your heart is back in your body, but some advanced technologies remain. You are less resistant to poison, and robots are only somewhat confused by you. Alright.
If you're planning to stay a while,
I'd like to engage your services. Swap body parts. Reattach your spine. You have lost the spineless perk. Wait. And now the damage is undone, and I am me again. Yay.
Might I be safe in the assumption that matters with the think tank have been satisfactorily concluded vis-a-vis your residence in this domicile?
Need to go. So yeah, this is kind of like a mini home for the player character. So, yay. Now the question is, how the hell do I get out of here? Or do I use that? Yeah, that thing. And we're back. Back in New Vegas, or not New Vegas, back in the Mojave. It feels good to be back, don't it, Sonny? Alright, so we're halfway done with the DLCs now. Back to Good Springs. We got a lot of schnit to drop off. New weapons. That. These. That. That. You can just drink those, put that away, that away. Durability. Put all those away, holy crap. Oops, damn it, didn't want to put all of them away, damn it. Scrap metals, jeez, we got a lot though. Yeah, 16 will do. Actually, a few more, because I gotta make repairs. And that should do it. 93 to 40, that's much better. Okay, that'll be number 7. Wait, no, that'll be number 6 again. That'll be number 7. Oh, wait. No. That will be 7. That will be 6. There. Jeez. How are you doing for ammo?
Here. Go easy on it now.
God, you burned through that ammo. I mean, she's still got a lot left, that's true, but she still used a good bit of it. But while she uses that, then the 9mm ammo will continue to grow, and never mind, it's back to where it was before. Okay. So, alright, what I need to do now is... Actually, you still got your weapons,
Here.
right?
Go easy on it now.
Yep, you still got them all. Sweet. Matter of fact...
Let me see what you got.
What's Maria use? Maria uses 9mm. I need to repair Maria. I kind of like the idea of her just having a little pistol, though. Then the submachine gun will be her backup. Where's Maria?
Here. Go easy on it now.
Actually, what a sweet revenge. I use 44 mag. So yeah, I like the idea that she switched to the dang.
Okay. Sure can.
And we'll put the 9mm in here. That will do. Now we need to go visit the gun runners and buy some damn ammo. Or, well, refresh it anyways. 'Cause I spent a good fuck ton of my shells over there. I mean, I know I still have a lot, but I like to be in an excess supply.
Welcome, sir or ma'am.
See what you got. Yeah, I'll take those. Those. .12 gauge Magnum. Don't need those. 9mm. Sure, I got ammo to sell you. Namely, all the fucking rockets I've collected. 225. Jeez. Alright, so we're back up to 572.
Let me see what you got.
Let's give you those 9mm. Okay, at 5. Now to visit. There's Frankie's. After I visit Frankie's, then we'll head off for the next DLC. Let's see what we have in stock. Yeah, I'm just here for this 12 gauge. Increases spread. Actually, yeah, I'll take his 5.56s, why not? Alright, gotta go. See you later. Alright, now I gotta figure out which DLC I'm going to do next. Actually, I think I already got an idea of which one I'm going to do. So we have the Sierra Madre Grand Opening and the Reunion. Travel to the canyon, wreckage, near Prim, and enter the Divide. Track down the source of the Sierra Madre Invitation. Now, I will go ahead and say that of the bunch, I think the Sierra Madre, or the Dead Money one, rather, the one right here, is probably going to be the hardest one of the four, in my honest opinion. I'd say it's my third favorite. I still put the Reunion one down there, and Old World Blues. Those are my two favorites, with the Honest Hearts is my least favorite. It's not to say that I don't like it, it's just my least favorite of the four. I felt like New Vegas's DLC expansions were a lot better than Fallout 3's. There was, I think, only one of Fallout 3, or no, two of Fallout 3's that I liked. That was the one where you go to that coastal area where you have to get like a segment of your brain back. And then, mainly because it was kind of Hills Have Eyes-ish, but that's besides the point. The other one was the one where you go to, basically you meet that one guy and he's like, hey, we need you to help, spark this revolution. He's enslaving all these people and stuff, and you come to find out he's actually not a bad guy. Well, he's a gray character. He's a gray area character, but he's not enslaving people for the sake of enslaving them. He's trying to, build the world back up. I think he's an ex-Brotherhood of Steel member that just said, yeah, I'm tired of the Brotherhood of Steel, and he just up and left. Those are the only two from Fallout 3 I liked. I did not care much for the Anchorage one, and then Zeta was easily my least favorite Fallout expansion DLC, like, ever. And that includes whatever not whatever we get with Fallout 4, but between New Vegas and Fallout 3, Zeta was easily the worst of them, and not in just like, oh, I just didn't like it. No, I hated Zeta. I did not like that one at all. But I did say I would do all four. My dilemma here is that I don't know which one of these two to do last. I'm thinking that I'll end up doing the Reunion last, because I feel like that one, it ties into a lot, because it involves a character that's been mentioned a lot. Like, you hear people say, the other courier. I expected the other courier, or the other courier did this, that, and the other. It's referring to the guy that we're supposed to meet there. And there's a reason why he doesn't, or he seems to be dismissive of us. If you remember when we were in, was it Prim? The guy said that courier turned down the job when he heard the courier you play as in New Vegas. When he heard its name mentioned, he turned down the job and said, yeah, let him take it. There's a reason why he feels that way, which we will explore, obviously, in the Reunion. So, yeah, I think next I'm going to do the hell? the Sierra Madre Grand reopening. That's right over here in the abandoned Brotherhood of Steel area. So I'm going to travel to Novak. I think I might check out the Novak store, see if they got anything worth getting. But anyway, folks, that was the Old World Blues. I've been Luca Blight. That's Manny Vargas. And we'll see you all next time.